Okay, so today we're going to be doing legs and mobility. And to kick off, I have a bit of pre-workout and creatine at home. Highly recommend. And here we go. So, shots of the floor because the gym is packed. Worst time to go gymming, of course, me. And then we have warm-up for legs for me is on this cross trainer here. And what I like to do is do 3 rounds of as I said, that resistance to 10, so 3 rounds of 150 meters going forward and 150 meters going backwards. I find that for me, it really warms up the glutes and my legs well. So today I'm not really going for heavy weights like I usually would because it's been such a long time since I've been back in the gym. I really want to stay active and mobile. So I'm just going to warm everything up. Especially my hips. Sometimes I'll do some rowing, but yeah. So here we go, warming up getting the ankle mobility happening. So I'll do 10 steps on my heels, 10 steps on my toes, and then 10 steps on the sides. I got this tip from a very good coach, Fox. Shout out to Fox and his family. And it's great, like, when you go to twist your ankle, when you roll your ankle or whatever, doing those sort of exercises, you find that you're more resilient. It's rolling your ankles. And then here we go, just stretching out the groin area after doing warm up on a cross trainer machine. And just holding that position while not overstretching either. And then doing that on both sides, holding it for 25 seconds. And then here, I'll start warming up on lower back. And just do this exercise here, just to really try and warm up the lower back and my hips. And it's out the groin area. Especially my hamstrings underneath, you can feel the stretches everywhere, so I find this is really good. Just do 2 sets of 10 on each side of that exercise. And then here, going back into the turn and look up exercise, I don't know what it's called, but I find that this really opens up your back a lot. Like if you get a sore back, an exercise like this, depending on how sore it really is, it just, really helps loosen everything up. I'll do 10 of those, two sets of those, 10 on each side. And then it's starting to feel pretty warm here. I do the open up the hips exercise on the ground. And the idea is to keep your feet on the ground, not lifting them up. And so, when I lost a lot of weight, I found that this was really easy. So getting back into it's obviously a bit trickier. See, I'm quite a big fella. And then here, going into this exercise, making sure your feet are on the ground at the back, heels touching and as flat as possible. And then really putting your chin down and getting a nice curl and curve into it. Again, it's one of those exercises I find that stretches and opens things up at the same time. So really good for the upper body and your lower back as well. The hips and the groin area, which is where I'm focusing on today, the mobility wise, as opposed to jumping straight into the heavy weights in the game. I got this exercise of my son, who's a D1 football player in America, and I find that this really opens things up. So I enjoy this exercise. It's hard to do when you've worked out your upper body and your arms. Like when I did chest and tries and I was trying to do this afterwards, man, my tries were burning. And I've learned to do a couple at a time, so. And then going into the stretch into the groin area. And again, to me it's really important having those hips and groin area mobile and flexible. I find that especially if you're sitting at a desk for long periods of time, you're less likely to get a sore back or tight hips. And then here I've got to do the open and shut the gate, so I've just done them on the spot, but without touching the ground, so trying to maintain some type of tension within your hips. And then there we go, close the gate. Otherwise I would do 10 of those on each side, walking up and down in the gym. And then so it's really starting to get a bit warm now. Actually a bit dodgy on that right leg. So that right knee is where I had a major knee surgery. I snapped every ligament in my knee playing rugby, or the 4 major ones anyway. But now I'm just keeping it simple, doing the squats. Chin and eyes up, arms up, making sure I'm not leaning forward. and then doing these froggy things. So that are from what's it called? I forgot what that animal movement, not animal movement, but some sort of movement stuff. But I find that this really helps open things up as well. And then going into the sissy squat. By now, when I was doing this, my legs were really nice and warm, and I felt I could get a bit more depth in my squat. And again, this is just one of those exercises that I find that really helps with me, focusing on the lower part of my body. And so when I do lunges, when I'm just starting back, I like to just do 5 on each side, like as you can see. Rather getting straight into the walking up and down, I'll get into the walking up and down and then start slowly increasing weight. But first, starting back after a long time, like even just doing these, I could feel getting really tight, especially in my hamstrings underneath, because it had been so long since I'd done anything like this. So it was good work to me. And then the Theragun, this is where I find most benefit out of it, because I slightly tore, or had a small tear in my Achilles. And then I learned a lot about how your tight calf muscles contribute to that. And just, I guess from a genetic perspective, having such big calf muscles is so the physios, like you put it, he showed me some ways before the Theragun how to loosen up my calf muscles using my other kneecap and just applying pressure points in certain places. And then obviously using rollout tools as well. So yeah, really digging in with the Theragun and focusing, especially on that lower part, so between the Achilles or the ankle and up into the calf, you got that little section. I find it gets really tight in there. So, and then obviously, working the big muscle right there, and it is very tender because it's the first time in a long time. But I do find that the benefits are huge. Once you get into it and maintain it, doing a bit of this along with some stretching really helps. And again, because it's been so long, the last thing I want to do is jump straight into heavy weights on my legs, knowing that they're not, I guess, balanced, in my opinion. So I'll do that side of the calf, and then always important to do your shin muscle. That's for anyone who's followed or seen the knees over toes guy. He talks a lot about strengthening that muscle and doing a little work on it to help relieve stress on the knee. So I like to hit it with the Theragun, just to help relax it a little. And if you know what tight calf muscles feel like, then you'll understand what other issues they can lead to if you don't address them. And so then that's how I do one side, the top, and then I'll go to the back side again where the Theragun is right there. It's usually really tender, and from what I remember, there's a tendon that goes somewhere from there and you go up through the knee somewhere. So hence why usually when I have some type of issue with my knee, especially my dodgy one in the football surgery, I just do the release on that type of muscles, and then here I just start stretching out. So 1 foot on the wall and 1 foot backwards, and just holding them both for at least 30 seconds. If you can do 60, then great. And then again, coming back to the groin stretch. Now the idea is to start here and then work my way down onto my elbows and really stretch it right out. Again, I find that really focusing on the hips and the groin area for legs, it's gonna do me wonders when I go to do some high intensity workouts or some heavy lifting. And again, just stretching out now. So I always try and stretch on one side, like as you can see, and then what I'll do is to get a nice extra stretch, I'll swap arms. And if you can do that, then you're doing pretty well, in my opinion, because there's a pretty tight stretch, Lee, and you'll know when your back's really tight is when you can't switch arms. You're just too tricky, I guess. And so, that's how you do that on both sides. And then, your traditional groin stretch, pushing down on your elbows. Again, you want to make sure before you're stretching that you're actually really warmed up. And then going from here, going into a deeper stretch in the groin area, and just grabbing the front of your feet and pulling it backwards. Yeah, just making sure you're really nice and warm before you start stretching. Otherwise, you can do some damage. It's like never rubber bands. You know, if they're cold, it's in the snap. If you stretch them too much, so warm them all up before you stretch. And then again, just both feet out in front and you can see from the side. How I do is I'll do that twice, minimum 60 seconds each. And I find that works wonders. You can do it standing up as well. I just chose to do it sitting down on the ground while I was there. And then during the quad stretch or the front hip flexor stretch, as you can see, one foot and one to my right knee's up and the other one's back. So I'll give you a side shot to see how I grab my foot. And if you can't grab your foot properly, you can just grab your ankle, if that helps. But I really find that this stretch does wonders as well for my hip flexors, and alleviating any sore back issues, especially from sitting down at a desk for long periods of time. And so that'll do that on both sides. So I would do that twice again, aiming for around 30-40 seconds. If you can do 60, then great, it's good. And then here we finish up. And again, I just want to quickly look at this outfit and just tell you guys that that outfit there, and those shoes that I got online, man, they have been around for, I think it's the 3rd year, no joke. And that singlet that I got on, I've got the Instagram photo somewhere, but that's like, I think it was in 2013 or 2010, I can't quite remember, but my point out of that is, you need to go out and buy all this expensive stuff. And even if you do, just make sure you look after them, man, I don't want to sound like a cheapskate, but if that's stopping you from going to the gym or doing any type of exercise, then, and if you're going to make a big investment, then make sure you look after it. And if you're not keen on doing a big investment, there's so many options online now and in the stores like Kmart where you can get some cheap workout gears as well, which I use all their gear as well. I just got a lot of hand-me-downs for my son who plays D1 football, so I'm pretty lucky.